How can you make a living doing something that is so much fun? That's the question Chuck Howe asks himself every day. Howe graduated with a geology degree in 1975 from what was then Southwest Minnesota State College, and today is the chief engineering geologist for the Minnesota Department of Transportation. Chuck does a lot of work with rock slopes, tunnels, blasting, bridges, and foundations, and they also work with groundwater. He designed a system to lower the groundwater level on Highway 395, and he says that if that system ever failed, you'd be driving under 5 feet of water. He's also proud of the work his area put into the North Shore tunnels. He works with 4 other people in his department. He says that they design things that make traveling safe for the public. They try to make transportation systems better by using knowledge of applied science. It was a love of running which brought Chuck to SMSU. He grew up in North St. Paul and one day got a call from track coach Harry Jones, wanting him to come to Southwest for track and cross country. He says he was flattered that someone contacted him. Southwest didn't cost much, so he went. Howe graduated 5 years later, and in 1972 he enlisted in the National Guard and spent much of that year in basic and advanced training in California. He thought he might study biology, but in his freshman year he took an intro to geology class from Roger Reed and fell in love with it. Chuck says, Southwest was a good experience for me. I enjoyed it. My first year, the runners came in early, 2 weeks before school started. Harry got us jobs laying sod for Bofferdings, and we all bonded. It was great fun. He ran track for 2 years and cross country for 4 years. He is in his 32nd year working for MnDOT. Before that, he worked for Johnson Screens, which makes stainless steel well screens. He says, I was in charge of geophysical equipment and looked for groundwater resources. He also taught 5th and 6th grade at the Holy Redeemer School in Marshall right after graduation. He couldn't find a geology job where he graduated, so he added a secondary education degree. So I have degrees from both SMSC and SSU, he said. He also said that it was an interesting time of those early years at the university. Coming from North St. Paul, he said he had a lot of African American friends, but it was new to Marshall back then. He says he thinks the town grew up. Howe sat in his residence hall room in the winter of his freshman year and watched the Student Center, then known as the Mustang Paddock, burn to the ground in what was to become one of the most infamous moments in school history. Today, he lives in Forest Lake with his wife Mary, an SMSU alumna, and Tracy native, who he met at the chalet during a quarter break. They have 3 children, Stephanie, Kristen, and Michael. I'm really honored by this Alumni Association honor, he said. Southwest was a good school for me, and it helped me shape who I am today and what I do today.